there have been some complications with my other self. The other day I was become Jekyll and was coming home. I noticed bruises on my arm and blood on my hands. I looked in the papers and saw that there had been a brawl downtown that had turned into a mob. Several men had been knocked unconscious and the assailant had escaped. He was described as a small, bent, but terrifyingly strong, with a face so dreadful that there has been significant outrage connected to this incident. The law enforcement shouldn't have arrived sooner. The government should clean the streets of these vermin. The fact that the assailant has evaded capture up to this point and seems to have vanished like a wisp of smoke. The public is crying out for blood because blood has been spilt. Is that all they do? Cry out for vengeance, cry for justice. Because this is not a just world. Weren't we told that from the beginning? Anyway, no one actually died. They were only injured, and even then not severely. No one's on the point of death. But still they cry out. It's a curious feeling, knowing that everyone wants to see you in cuffs, that it's not really you, that you have the power to keep the secret hidden, that you could commit any crime and no one would ever know. Curious indeed. But all that filth pales in comparison to the events that occurred last night. I went to bed trying to make peace with myself and my heart. After all, it was Hyde who did the deed, not me. I tossed and turned, trying to sleep, to constantly justify myself. I was in the right. Hyde was in the wrong. Why should I feel guilty for the actions of another? Well, I closed my eyes. Have you ever blinked? By blinked, I mean the form of sleep that often occurs in young children. What happens is you shut your eyes and open them, but several hours have passed. You must have fallen asleep, but you are not rested, and a large chunk of your life, hours, are just missing. Gone forever, with nothing to show for them. That happened to me last night, and I thought it was odd, because it had not happened since I was a very young child. I put my hand to my face to wipe the sleep from my eyes, and it was not my hand. It was the hand of Edward Hyde. I jumped from my bed and ran to the mirror, only to be confronted by this horror. I had changed involuntarily in the night, and in my panic I ran in here and compounded my recipe. I'd never tried it to reverse the effects before. I prayed that it would work. It did. But I am not at peace. Edward Hyde was meant to be an escape for me, but now he is becoming my very nature. And my objective is now to maintain who I am. In the beginning, I thought that the two personalities were good and evil. Hyde is most certainly evil, but I am certainly not good. Hyde is an expression, an extension of myself. And if it is so, I cannot be good. If I could possibly be free of him, then maybe I could be considered to be good. But not until then. immorality of Hyde presses upon me. The realizations of his sins that he is made from bears on me because they are my sins. He is my sins, embodied into this horrific personification that I felt free to wear. I thought of him as licensed to do what I will. But as I more and more give myself to his desires, he is gaining control. He is becoming stronger. He is winning. And yet, I cannot be free of him. Even if I tried, it would cause me too much suffering. I could not bear to not be able to shake off this cage. Indeed, if I were to be rid of one of us, it would be easier to be rid of me. Hyde could walk the streets without me. He would feel no loss in my absence. Well, I would feel his absence more keenly than I have felt anything. Is the better part of myself prepared to die for such a man? Never. I may be the chief of sinners, but I'm also the chief of sufferers. Chief of sufferers? Jekyll, you enjoy this. You can come in.
Henry? Henry, what's wrong? Are you sick?
I suppose. Oh, don't worry, it's nothing serious.
You look horrible.
Thanks.
What happened?
I went 3 rounds with Andre the Giant. Turns out I am good enough to go 3 rounds.
That's not funny.
It is a little.
You're sad. Did you accidentally poison yourself?
Maybe a little.
Henry, you can't experiment on yourself. Did you try that sleeping pill thing?
I didn't think it would be this bad. Honestly, I didn't. At worst, it was supposed to be a personality shift. I didn't think he would be so vile.
He? Does this have anything to do with Mr. Hyde? You have to get rid of him.
I know.
Will you?
I'll certainly try. Here. If anything happens to me...
But Henry...
Shh. If anything happens to me, I want you to take this and open it in front of your employer. It won't explain everything, but I have means, unofficial means, to make everything clear. I promise.
Henry, what have you gotten yourself into?
I hardly know.
Well, I'm not leaving you. I'm gonna make you better.
But...
No buts. I'm going to start with chicken soup and work my way up from there. You know, you can make chicken soup out of just about anything. All you really need is chicken. Maybe chicken broth. Here, found some. You may be the chemist, Henry, but I'm not too bad at throwing things in a pot and stirring it up myself. Now then, you happen to have any vegetable... Henry? 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 Henry! Well, I'll make the soup anyway. Chicken soup solves everything. Even Henry.
What do you think you're doing, huh? What's wrong with you?
Stand aside.
I'm afraid I can't do that, sir.
I've broken no law. Stand aside.
I'm afraid I can't do that.
Good evening, sir.